ballpark.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Bronx Nothing Podcast, episode 41. Kevin's back from vacation.
Home sweet
It's
home.
been crazy. It's been crazy the past couple weeks. I just recently moved into college. Kevin's been on vacation, so sorry that we haven't been, recapping out every series. We'll get back to that now. We're gonna recap the Red Sox series, which was a disaster, got swept, and then we lose 2 out of 3 to the Washington Nationals. I just got back from the stadium. The kids are up. Kevin, how you doing? How was vacation? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. Refreshed, back from vacay. Yeah, we couldn't do every series, but we did 2 episodes while I was on vacation. I was there for 12 days. Thank you guys for your patience, and you guys still showed support on the videos and understand that the audio quality wasn't the greatest, but we were making do with what we had. You know, I mean, I literally had to just get download all those programs in the laptop and had to use the built-in mic and all that stuff. But next year, if we take vacations, we will have a traveling mic and a traveling laptop so we can accurately describe what was happening and what, because the Marlins series was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was.
We talked about it, but yeah, the Yankees play against Boston, and right away I get here, and we get swept. I mean, we won I got here Wednesday, so we were able to get. So, well, funny enough is when I went to the stadium in Marlins, we won one. Then we go on a 9-game losing streak. When I come back the next day after that, Judge has his amazing game and the Yankees win. So it's crazy. The Yankees lost throughout my whole vacation. So that was the worst part of my vacation, was the Yankees losing.
But you just had, you're with your family, so
Yeah.
you kind of said it too. You're like,
step
I'm
away.
not gonna let the Yankees back. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I'm on Twitter every day, and I'm texting you and the guys, Pete, Rye guy, and all those stuff. So yeah, it comes back here and there. But besides that, yeah, man, I'm doing well. Let's get into this. I mean, it's some Brian Cashman's. Also, we can get into that. His press conference. Yeah, a lot to talk about. It's gonna be more ranty than anything. We're gonna talk about what's going on and what. But yeah, let's get into it. Wherever you want to start, Mr. Gomez.
I kind of want to go quick with the series, Kev, because everybody knows what happened. The Yankees have been playing terrible baseball, barely any offense besides yesterday and today. The Boston series was just a flat-out disaster.
Mm-hmm.
The Friday game was over in the first inning. Johnny Brito got smacked. That game was just super ugly. Yankees lose that game 8-3. Don't need to really recap that game.
No.
The second game was interesting because it was cold day, and you feel good. Garrett Cole on the mound, obviously. And it's been a talking point too that he came into the game, he was 10-3. And a lot of people were saying that he may not win the Cy Young, Kev, because he's 10-4 now. His ERA is 3.30. Or 3.03, excuse me, not 3.0. But yeah, he gave up a grand slam to Luis, I think Urias, that's his name. He just came from the Brewers, so I don't know. That kind of like people are saying that it tainted, it's gonna take away his Cy Young. I'm not sure what that means. A grand slam, and now his ERA is above 3.
The guy gave
frustrating.
Up was the pitcher who gave up the most home runs last year, and I think this year he's maybe given up 10, 12.
But the way people see it as, it's one bad start.
No, people just hate Cole. Look at the gap. When was his last bad start? Tampa Bay series, and we still could have won that game. Remember?
And it's been a while. It's been a while for him, and
he's been on these stretches where he'll have one bad start. I think he had 2 in that stretch. I think it was the Orioles and Tampa Bay. He had 2 rough starts, and then he went on a stretch that it's just like every day Cole takes the mound, it gives the Yankees 95% chance to win the game, and some way somehow the Yankees find a way to fuck it up for Cole, and it's sad. The man only has 10 wins. He should be hovering around 17, honestly, right now.
The only bright spot in our season. That's like my biggest thing. A lot of people are like, you shouldn't be celebrating, the Cy Young season that he's having. But
no, it's nice to see your guys.
What we've been watching, like that's the only like good thing we kind of have going for us, besides Judge and Glaber, and obviously
think about it
watching
this
the
way.
kids now. But
what kind of sucks is and we can talk about the Brian Cashman press conference because it happened during the National Series. If Judge was healthy, look how he's swinging the bat when he got hurt and now. We could have possibly, and seeing now, also we can get into Ohtani, which sucks as well. Ohtani got hurt now. If Judge never got hurt, you could have this guy go back-to-back MVP. Think about that shit. He has 28 bombs, 29 today, right?
Yep.
29 bombs. I mean, we talked about it. The rate that he was going to flirt with 60 or 55 plus. I had him at 55 when the way he was going. He's just seeing the ball so well, and man, it's just amazing to watch. And it sucks because he got hurt. Dodger Stadium fixed your shit. I think they did after a Judge got hurt. But that being said, we got robbed from that, man. It sucked, bro. And it could have been, it could have been a lot different. We could have still been. I don't think we would have been ridiculously a great team, but we would definitely be in playoff contention. We'll be one of those 3 teams right now.
No, definitely. I think we'll still be a wild card team, but like we know, and I think it's kind of hard for me to accept because, I mean, I'm sure you guys know Pete already. We mentioned him a lot on here, NYYU, that he said, basically the season's over, and it's hard for me to accept, but it's kind of, I'm just at the point where obviously, I want to win.
You're numb,
but
you're gonna stay there with mathematically, and deep down inside, I think every true Yankee fan has that little guy in there hoping that the Yankees somehow pull off a miraculous run and still make it into the playoffs. Me personally, just because of the culture and everything that breeds in the front office, then down to Boone. And even today, after the outs on the bases, I think Boone said something ridiculous. It's like you have to account for, like, they're human beings, they're players, they're professional players. They need to be able to take criticism. And if you don't give it to them here and there in the media, I mean, they're gonna think. I mean, again, it's like I said with the front office. If you're not afraid of losing your job, you'll say shit like Cashman said. Shit happens. Well, no,
that was driving me insane.
Yeah, to an extent, he is correct. Nobody foreseed all these injuries, but there were holes in this lineup, in this team, in winter, and you did not address them. You did not address left field. You did not address third base. You did not address your catching position, who you knew Trevino had a year that nobody expected because he came out of nowhere. You can't expect a guy like that to go back-to-back offensively that way because he's never been that offensive player. And honestly, it was only the first half of last year as well. So for you to go there and just beat your chest and be like, yeah, we're gonna roll the dice on Donaldson. We're gonna roll again. Why?
By the way, you're also banking on Austin Wells at that point. I just hope you know that, like, the Yankees are probably banking on, listen, towards the end of the year, we're still going to be in it. We're going to call up Austin Wells, and the team will still be in a playoff spot. We'll insert him there, and we'll just hope that, he kills it. So that's why maybe they didn't go out and get a catcher at the deadline. They thought the team wasn't good enough, or they just didn't want to sell. Whatever the case may be, The Yankees didn't go out and do it during the offseason. At the deadline, they did absolutely nothing. They got 2 relievers. By the way, Keaton Middleton, he's actually pretty good.
He's been,
I like him. I like him a lot.
And the only issue that it gets, and shout out to Middleton, man, because he does have some great stuff. And I knew anybody that we get, and not anybody, but most of the guys that Cashman and them get, that's where he's really shines well with the bullpen. F. Ross got Tommy John and stuff like that. But again, you can't foresee that. But those guys that Trevino from last year too, they turned into Wandy had a 5 ERA when he came to the Yankees. So when you see what Matt Blake's able to do with these guys, it's amazing. And the only reason that gets pushed aside is because it was a need, but it wasn't the number one priority. Right? You needed to address left field. You needed to address this offense. If you would have done something simple like get a Bellinger, I know 17 was crazy, but I'm pretty sure it's the fucking Yankees. I'm pretty sure if you would have spoke to Bellinger and got him at 14, 13, I'm pretty sure he would have said yes. Or maybe give him a multi-year, I don't know, 7.5, maybe 15 for 2 or 16 and get him something like that. And because he could also play first base. So, and that's my main issue. You went into this season with these issues. You didn't address them in the trade deadline. You didn't do nothing, which is the worst thing you can do. And then you still want to sell us that we're a championship team. No, you basically said in that press conference that They knew the way he said it. I don't think anybody thought or could say that we weren't a playoff contending team coming from this offseason. So in your mind, you're just thinking about the playoffs. You have to build and think about a World Series team. Is this team going to be able to beat the Houston Astros, who's always giving us issues? Is this team going to be able to beat the Atlanta Braves, who's been good for consistent years now? Is this team going to beat the Dodgers? Is this team? That's what you have to think about, and they're not. They're just going in blindside, man. Crapshoot. My man's gambling.
No, 100%. Just going with that, Kev. Yeah, it's just been the quotes, him saying like shit happens, things like that. Like I know that infuriated a lot of the fan base because it's like, dude, you guys sell us that it's World Series or bust, and we haven't made it back to a World Series since we won it in 09. So it's like, what are we doing here? Is the goal to make it to a World Series, or is it just sneak into the playoffs and it's a crapshoot?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a crapshoot for the Houston Astros because they make it almost every other year. They're always in it or they win it. So, it's definitely frustrating. Well, let's kind of try to stay on topic, and we'll talk about the Cashman towards the end when we're like mentioning the kids too. Let's go to Game 3 of the Red Sox series, and that was kind of the exciting game. But I also feel like that's the reason why the kids were called up, although they should have been called up maybe before the series or maybe earlier in the year. But that Red Sox last game, when IKEV got thrown out at home plate, I think it kind of just changed the mood in like the stadium too. I know you weren't there, Kevin, but him getting thrown out, and even on TV, a bunch of people were saying like I thought he was safe, which was super weird. And the Yankees fought this game, although they lost 6-5. Greg Allen almost hit a homer in the 9th inning that was off the top of the wall, was a double, and you had Glaber and Judge come up with a guy first and second, and they didn't do anything. So you have your best guys coming up, the most consistent guys for your team, even though Judge was hurt, throughout the season, but they didn't do anything. The Yankees get swept, embarrassed in the Bronx, and people were calling like if we've been calling for Pereira to be called up. We've been calling for Peraza. Yeah. We were hoping Wells would be up too, but this national series, people were joking around. I remember, I think it was on Monday, because Monday was an off day. They were like, nobody's gonna be at the stadium. There's not going to be anybody at the stadium. You got to do something. Call up the kids, do something. And I think that's just my biggest thing right now going into next season, Kevin. Obviously, like I said, I want to win, but the playoffs are most likely not going to happen. You have to go, there's 35 games left. You have to go like 28-7. The Yankees have that in them? Let's be real.
We haven't seen it this year.
We haven't seen it this year. That's why I say no, but anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen.
I just want to see Peraza develop. I want him to see him do well, get confident at the big league level. He got a hit today. Pereira got his first hit today. That was big. I know the Yankees lost, but I think that kind of just made me take a step back today. I think the Marlins game was the game. Yeah.
Nice.
I think the Marlins game was like a really big wake-up call. I know there's been a lot of games that we lost, but that was like the game that like you kind of think about it, and I was thinking about it throughout the losing streak. I was like, I think that was truly the game that ended our season.
Yeah.
That really just told me like, listen, this is not a playoff team. This is not a good baseball team. The team is not constructed well.
It's not a team that is managed well. For people who love Boone, and I don't hate him for it. I mean, again, I'm 50-50. Players have to perform and execute. There's no excuse for that. And I tweeted earlier about shout out to Ryan Garcia. He's our guy. From Fireside. We like those guys too. And yeah, he was talking about BABIP and basically Clay Holmes being a bit unlucky. And I said, yeah, dude, but one of those 5 ground balls was hit right at him. He couldn't make the out at first base. Josh Bell running, of all people. So it's like as much as you want to blame BABIP and how hard the balls were hit and they were ground balls, you have to also give some fault to the pitcher, man. You're the guy executing those pitches. You're the guy who's ahead in the count, and that's what's happening. And you had control in some of the situations, and you couldn't complete. So, and that is the human factor that analytics forgets. There's something with and you can see it with all the players, but it seems to be Clay Holmes, and he could be mentally. I don't know what it is, and yes, BABIP has to do with it as well. I agree, but in non-safe situations, he's not great. He hasn't been all year. So and then again, you have a manager who the game is going away from your hands, and you're not doing anything with Johnny Loizaga in Miami, who has been lights out since he got here, who I thought should have just came in the ninth, and you keep Clay Holmes just in case Johnny got into trouble. But again, that is my issue. Boone's not managing games either. So as much as the players are not executing, we have a manager who I think falls asleep at the wheel sometimes.
And I feel like he's well on his way out. I feel like he kind of knows that too. I know there's been a lot of articles that have said otherwise. It's like, oh, I think, Cashman, we pretty much know Cashman's definitely staying.
I feel bad.
That's
for
the problem.
And my thing to an extent, because it's like, and I don't know if you agree, Mario, but at this point, if I'm Boone, as much as Cashman told me, you do what I tell you, and your job will always be here. You got to know that the New York market is different. You have to be aware, and if they're gonna want blood, it's gonna be Boone. Metaphorically,
just manage how you want to manage.
Exactly. If this is
what I'm saying?
At this point, you got Casey on your back. It's your guy from Cincinnati. If you're gonna go out your way, Boone. If you're pulling, look at the game plan, and at this point,
they're not gonna fire you with 35 games to go, bro. They're not gonna fire you.
No.
And I think Steinbrenner said that too on the Michael Kay show earlier in the year. He's like, what the New York Yankees do as an organization, we don't fire guys. We don't fire.
They've never done
our
it
managers through the mid-season.
His dad used to do that back in the late '80s, early '90s.
But that's not how he wants to run the team.
And it hasn't been done since Torrey was manager, or before that even. So that's my thing. It hasn't been done in ages. So I don't think he's gonna lose his job. What I'm saying is in the offseason. So if I'm Boone, I'm like, I'm fucking managing this team how I'm fucking managing this last 35 games, and judge me on that. And then if the Yankees do end up firing him, if he takes meetings somewhere else, he can say, look at my record in the 35 games with Judge and me pulling the strings the way I want, what I thought that should have been done in some situations, right? If he goes 20 and 35 games, if he goes 25 and fucking 10, right? You think that's not good? That's great. Now you can, when you're speaking to another team, like when I decided to do things my way, the team went 25 and 10. I was executing what the front office and what the analytics department was doing. I wasn't managing. I was going off a game plan and sticking to it no matter what. And that's not how it should be placed. Things change. You get hit in the face.
But the thing about that, Kev, it's really going to anger Yankee fans. Let's say he's like, listen, the last 35 games, I managed how I wanted because they basically told me in a meeting, I'm not going to be back. If he goes 25 and 10, managing that way, people are going to be furious. But at that point, he's probably already going to be fired. So what can we do? What can we do? So we just have to hope that the new manager that comes in is going to do it his way.
Exactly. No. And if it does happen, right, you can also and again, we come off as I come off as a guy who hates analytics sometimes, and I don't. I just hate the narrative that even when we're losing or we're winning, we want to throw jabs at other people's opinions and other people's. As much as you want to, the issue that I have with our front office analytics is that they want everybody to be Aaron Judge. They want everybody to be home run hitters, and not everybody is. You cannot have a lineup of 9 guys who just hit bombs. It doesn't happen. Nobody has that. Nobody has that. Little jabs like, you see how one hit can score 1 run instead of 3 hits score. That shit it's asinine. It's stupid. Because it doesn't matter. There's games. Look at how, the Miami Marlins didn't hit 1 home run when they beat us in that comeback game. So again, this is baseball. Things happen, right? So my issue is you can't have 9 guys who hit home runs. There's guys who do it and guys who don't. You can argue what? I personally think Volpe could be a much better hitter if he was a gap-to-gap guy. If he didn't focus so much, if he didn't try to hit 20 home runs, maybe if he hit fucking 15 home runs, maybe he'd be a little bit more like Jose Ramirez. Who the fuck knows? But no, we want this guy to always swing for the fences. So, I mean,
he'll get 20 homers this year, which is good for a lot of fans. And it's good for us to see, definitely. It's not like we don't like home runs.
Yeah, that's another dumb argument. I love home runs.
Yeah. But if he was just gap to gap, we feel like the average would be better. And I think he's going to be much better next season.
Oh, yeah.
With big league pitching, 100, yeah.
A year under his belt. A full year under his belt. Yeah.
And at shortstop, too, I think he's going to be much, much better on the defensive side. I don't know, offensively, I think he's going to take a bigger leap than defensively, but I still think defensively he'll be much better. And I think he's still going to be a shortstop next year. This is what I was thinking, actually. I was driving home after the game today, talking to my buddy. And I feel like we all don't know the plan with the New York Yankees.
Never
What
did.
are they going to do in free agency? And I feel like that's a whole other topic we'll talk about after the offseason. But we got to see Pereira, what he's about. We got to see what Peraza's about. Listen, I think they
Bro, we're losing.
combined. They're like 2 for 22, I think, in the 3 games that they played. Let them play. At this point,
we're losing
just let him
Chaparro
play.
too this year. We didn't even see him taking that bat at Yankee Stadium. My man's out there hitting 450 bombs, foot bombs in AAA, and we didn't
26
give him
homers or something like that.
we
70 something RBIs.
Yeah, and Giancarlo went down and he was on a tear, and we didn't call him up. I know he's not on the 40 man, but we're losing that guy for nothing. You told me that you could have maybe not come up with a fucking trade with Chaparro, maybe a few other guys that you don't think that are gonna pan out. Throw Greg Allen in there or McKinney or anybody and get something else back for it. Little shit like that. It's just like nobody knows what they're going through. No, I mean, reports were that Miami wanted Glaber. And listen, I would have. If Yuri Perez was in that conversation for Glaber, they should have done that with their eyes closed. I'm sorry. I know you love Glaber, but I'm thinking about our pitching situation, knowing that we just got Rodon for 160 mil. I'm not trying to overpay for Aaron Nola or anything like that. When you got a kid like Yuri Perez who fucking struck out 10 against the Dodgers and they end up losing the game because why? Because they brought in their closer in the 8th inning. You know what's funny? My nephew came up to me and said the Marlins are dumb. And I said, why do you say that? He's like, they brought in their closer in the 8th inning. So it's like, it's little shit like that. That Boone says it's well. Oh, we're gonna have my best guy against your best. If the middle of the order, which makes sense to an extent, but sometimes they overuse it. Like I remember Mariano coming in for a 4-out save.
Guys aren't built like that anymore.
No. And I'm not comparing anybody to Mariano, but it's like imagine if Torrey brought in. There's something about the 9th inning that you cannot put into an equation, Mario.
100%. I think we spoke about this off of this. Some guys just don't have the stomach for the 9th inning. And you can see it on the Yankees. They could be great guys in the 8th, the 7th. They can get, the biggest bats out in the 7th inning, right? They get 2, 3, 4 out. You be facing 7, 8, 9, right? In the 9th inning. And you just, I don't know what happens. You start getting
get one
anxious.
out, you walk a guy and another guy gets a hit. Now you got the top of the order
that's it. Yep.
And that's my thing.
Happens.
And again, with Clay, I think he does have potential because he shows it. He is great. But my thing is maybe he just mentally checks in differently when he knows he can't fuck up. When he has too much wiggle room, I would love. See, this is why I would love to have a nice budget where I can be like, can you find out how he pitches with a 1-run lead, with a 2-run lead, and a 3-run lead? Because I'm pretty sure he's much more lights out with a 1-run lead, even though he has an imploded team there.
Kev, you know what I was thinking today in the back of my head, and I was thinking about because we were gonna record today.
Why didn't you think about it in the front of your head?
After this guy, man, I can't stand you sometimes. So Clay comes in, right?
Yeah.
Yankees are down by 1. What do we talk about so many times? How he is in non-safe situations. Non-safe situation today gives up a run. And I'm like, dude. Of course,
shout out Johnny Lasagna.
When Stan hits that
posted
single,
it right away.
Yep, when Stan hits that single, I'm like, dude, that could have been a tying run right there.
Yeah.
It's just like so frustrating. It's just been a frustrating season. And I was talking about this too, actually. Like, I was thinking this in my head. This is like the worst Yankee team I've ever seen, Kev. I wasn't born in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Like, I always thought the Yankees were going to finish over 500. And it's like crazy for me to think at the end of this year, the Yankees are probably not going to finish over 500 this year.
And somebody
may not even get 80 wins.
Somebody pointed out Billy Beane defending Brian Cashman. And I'm like, obviously you see Moneyball, you know who Billy Beane is with the Oakland A's. And what he did, and of course the movie leaves out Miguel Tejada, who was a huge part of that Oakland A's team, because he's a slugger, right? But that being said, I don't think you want that guy defending you, bro. I mean, I get.
Apparently, he's like close friends with Cashman. I think Bob Klapisch was the one that put out the article.
Yeah, exactly, and I know what he was trying to do, but. When did the Oakland A's make it to the World Series? How long did it? How long has he been using those methods? And then the Yankees, we were trying to reinvent the wheel. We were hitting too much ground double plays into 2021. So what they was like, oh, we're gonna hit the ball in the air and strike out. That's it. We're not grounding out. And then what you try to construct your lineup of is as of 7-8 guys who are power guys who just strike out or hit home runs. And then in October, where everything slows down and you face elite pitching again and again and again, that gets exposed. As much
You're not facing a fifth starter. You're not facing a fourth starter. Rarely a fourth starter you'll face.
we are not saying to not hit home runs, but if you notice, look at the Houston Astros. Yes, they out-homered us and they out-homered their opponents when they won. But look at the guys who don't homer. Does Maldi homer? Does Gurriel homer a lot?
Well, against us. Well,
does,
against
yeah.
us, yeah.
But you know, normally.
I know.
Does-
I don't know. I understand what you're
Does
saying. I
Gurriel?
get your point.
Does Gurriel homer?
It's like 3-something. He'll double off homes to start off that rally against us.
But he's a hitter. So you have that mix. That's all I'm saying. You can have 5, even 6 guys who are like that. But the last 3 guys, they have to be guys who get on base, can scatter hits here and there, and you just have to have a good mix. That's all I'm asking for. And if you're going to go with a slugger, please let's stop getting these guys who can't run. Because we can't have Stanton and Rizzo back-to-back like that because you're just asking for it. When was the last time we're beating an infield single? That's another thing that I like to point out about the Rays and the Orioles and those guys who have analytics and they mix it well. We don't have any speed. Our guys are too old. I mean, not that all of them are too old, but you got guys like Stanton and Rizzo, and then you got Josh Donaldson, and then you just keep adding to that. Joey Gallo. It's like, the fuck? Why can't you get a Dolis or you couldn't have got fucking Soler or something like that? You know, so a guy that still has a decent speed to him. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's just let's get that good mix, Mary. That's all I'm asking for.
No, I totally get that, Kevin. I was gonna ask you this. So, the National Series a little bit different from the Red Sox series. We actually won. Still haven't won a series, and it feels like forever, Kevin. Yankees are going through, I think since like August 1st, I believe Katie Sharp tweeted it out. I think the Yankees are like 5-16. Worst record in like baseball from
but
that
I think
stretch.
we've lost 9 series in a row. If I'm not mistaken. It's sad right now. It's bad. It's rock bottom.
I know, yeah. But besides, obviously, Aaron Judge, and any big takeaways from the series, maybe the kids. I know Rodon got hit pretty hard in game 1. 6 innings. I believe he only had 1 or 2 strikeouts. Let me check real quick. He had 1 strikeout, gave up 6 hits, gave up a lot of hard hit balls for only 1 run, gave up a solo shot. But any takeaways from the series? You know, Peraza, Pereira, what you like out of them, what you see?
Well, listen, I like already the athleticism. If you see him get to the ball in left field, throw to Volpe, Volpe throw the guy out at second. Little things like that is little things that people don't, not the average fan and some people who just watch the Yankees here and there don't get. This is the type of stuff that you want. Stuff like his first major league at bat, he walked. He worked the walk. Stuff like that. He's not stretched out. I mean, it was a rocket today, and it was down the line, but still, it's another guy who's a natural outfielder who hits the ball hard, like you guys love, and as well, speed on the bases.
But he does strike out too. Yeah. They mentioned that too when he was starting at Double-A. He did have strikeout problems. He does walk like a lot of you guys like Kevin was mentioning.
But his on base is nice.
And that's what we need. We need guys to get on base. And I know he had a tough day, start off the day. I think he had 3 strikeouts or whatever, but he came up and he smoked that pitch. What was it, like 110 off the bat or something? Yeah, he smoked it. So good for him to get that off his chest before the Yankees hit the road. We got 3 in Tampa. Got Cole on the mound tomorrow at the Trop. Rays are still a good team. They got Eflin going for them tomorrow, so that should be interesting. But anything else on the series, Kev? I hope Peraza, he keeps getting his at-bats in. I know he hasn't been great with the bat, but...
Yeah, and I think what it is with us, the Yankee fans, when we're talking about play the kids, is that we know it's highly unlikely that you're going to make the playoffs this year. So why not see what you have in these next 35 games with some of the younger guys that you plan or think that are going to pan out in the next year, right? So then you can make your decisions in the off season a lot easier instead of waiting for spring training and see what pans out. Another question you have to ask you: if you're not going to address the outfield, if Jason Dominguez repeats with another spring training like he had last year, are you going to give him the job from rip?
I have a question. I have a question for you about this because you know us, Jason Dominguez, un de lo mío.
De lo mío, peso 9, en Maiciano, aguacate power. Po!
You already know. He's Dominican, guys, if you guys didn't know. Do you think he starts opening day? Is he the Yankee center fielder opening day? You do? Wow,
no,
I don't think so.
Now I do.
I don't.
Really thinking
why is
right
that
now. You get right. What did Volpe do? He played 18 games in AAA, and look where he's at. I think they're gonna treat him just like Volpe.
I don't think they are. This is what I think, and this is gonna really make you upset. I think there's a small chance that Bader comes back. I think it depends a little bit on Pereira, if that makes sense. Let me explain. If Pereira doesn't do well, or maybe he does really well, they try to trade him somewhere possible. But I don't think that's the case. I think that's like most likely not going to happen. I could see them getting a guy like a stopgap center fielder for a little bit. I don't think Bader's coming back unless he signs like a super team-friendly deal, like a 2-year, $14 million, like something like that. In total, like 7 per year, something like that. I think that's the only way Bader comes back. They'll do a little stopgap center fielder for a little bit until he's ready in like June or July. Because Volpe did struggle in the beginning, and I don't know if the Yankees want to go through another year of that. They know he's going to struggle when he comes up, but I don't know if the Yankees want that in the beginning of the year. Because they're going to be super young next year. Well, you know, the kids are still going to be playing. I think Peraza's still going to be here. Pereira will still be here. And Volpe's still going to be here. That's a pretty young, you know, core right there. That's a new core in town that everybody's been talking about. So I think the Dominguez will be up in like July. I don't know if that upsets you, Kevin. But
no, it doesn't. I really don't. I'm not gonna say I don't care, but I don't think you can keep this kid if he goes again and he plays well. He hits anywhere north of 270 with a nice 350 on base in AAA with those games, and then he comes in spring training and he rakes like he did, and he hits bombs like he did in spring training.
If he does that again,
Okay. How are you gonna tell fans that he's not ready when AA is the best pitching? AAA are guys that are normally up and down, are journeymen. So he is seeing guys that are up and down in AAA more than AA. So that being said, how do you keep him off the team when you need exactly? When's the last time we had a switch hitter who can hit the way he hits, who can run the way he runs? There's so much that he kind of reminds me a little bit. He kind of reminds me a little about Bernie, a switch hitting guy. He's not again. He has power. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like he's hitting 40, right? Bernie gave you 25, 30, 38 in some years, right? But he was a high average guy, switch hitter, played center field, very good, and speed on the bases. So little stuff like that the Yankees need, man. Every time we've been successful, we've had like 2-3 switch hitters in our lineup, and we don't have that right now. Cabrera, you're my guy. También. I love Cabrera, but he's struggling right now. So
no, and he has been playing a lot too. I do think Yankee fans have to be ready for this. I'm not too big on like defensive metrics, but what my eyes tell me is, I hope you guys know, like Bader's a platinum glove center fielder. Dominguez is not gonna be that.
No.
He's gonna provide pop. He's not
gonna play.
I don't want to say he's a bad player or a bad center fielder. I believe he's average. I would say he's average, fairly average in center field. Got a good arm. There's been a couple, highlights here or there. He's been getting good reads out there because he's been playing a lot more center field lately. So listen, maybe he's got a couple more games down there in AAA now because he's with the
Rail Riders.
The Rail Riders. But now we'll see. Hopefully, he gets better defensively down there. Teach him a few things. He was hanging around Bader too in spring training, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
we'll see. But also think about it this, Mario. A lot of people were already hating Bader now and looking at Monty's year this year, without taking into effect how Monty ended up, how he started this year. How Bader played with us in the play, how he played in the playoffs. People forget that. They just look at right now. They're just looking at what's in their face right now. And Bader's always been a 250 guy. If you look at New York
City, that's New York City. That's Yankee fans for you. What have you done for me lately? That's how it is.
And this is why you can't tell me that Brian Cashman has always had 25 years. I don't care about 25 years of success. We're talking about right now. What has he done lately? It looks bad. We're 500 in the last 200 games, sub 500 right now. So again, what have you done for me lately? Like you're saying, Mario.
The way the money spent. That's what we're pissed off about.
Allocation of the resources. And that being said, man, Yankees, give us your game plan. Let these kids play out. I would love to see Chap get a few at bats.
Austin Wells, I think he'll be called up in the next week or so. Probably after the Astros series. I don't think they want him to face those guys there.
So you think they DFA Ben? Oh, Higgy. I'm sorry. I mean, Higgy's not back. This is last year, right?
Rosters expand. I think they carry.
They could carry one more. You think it's Austin?
Yeah, they'll carry 3 catchers. Yeah, I think they'll do that. I don't know what the plan. I don't know, to be honest with you. Rorvet had the only two. Yeah, Rorvet only had 2 hits. The only 2 hits that we had on Tuesday was.
Yeah, and also another thing. Yeah,
that's the thing about the Yankees. It's like a guessing game.
Everybody's like, hey, he sucks, and I'm like, dude, he doesn't even have. Does he have 100 at bats already? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So it's like, bro,
I think he has like 50 something maybe.
I know, it's like, and they play him. They don't play him like they played Higgy, where he would play every other game.
Oh,
they don't do that with Ben. So it's like, it's hard for you to get in a groove, man. It is what it is.
And he's got Garrett Cole in his ear all the time, and we love Garrett, but he takes he makes him, he tires him out.
Yeah.
So Garrett's a competitor, but Garrett wants his catchers the way he wants them. He tells the guys what he likes, and as he should. He's the Cy Young. You listen to the Cy Young Award winner who should win this year, but we'll see what happens. Anything else, Kev, before we go?
I don't know, man. I think we covered a lot of things. Anything? When is it? September 1st is when you can carry that extra guy?
I believe so. September call-up, so.
Yeah. Ben. Oh, let me shout out Ben Rice. There's another guy.
Ben Rice, another catcher.
That you also tweeted that maybe Ben Rice is the future catcher. I think Austin should try to transition to first base, but
yeah,
see where that goes, because I mean I know his bat's well, but he can't throw anybody out. Let's just call a spade. And if you're gonna go Ben Rice, if that's the new guy that you're thinking about, and you're prior so much about defense, because that's the reason you got rid of Gary Sanchez, I don't want to hear about Austin Wells. Make him a first baseman right off rip now. I mean, he should be taking first rip, because you got Rizzo for one more year. We don't even know how Rizzo's going to look like when he comes back and what he's going to look like next year. So that's going to be tough. Having Rizzo, if Rizzo and Stanton are struggling, that's going to really sink the ship.
Well, we're hoping in free agency 2025, our guy that I hope the Yankees are going to be bidding for with the Mets or whoever it is, Juan Soto. He'll be a free agent there. Yankees been interested in him for a while. I tried to trade for him. Murakami, excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, from Japan. He's also a first baseman, corner infielder. Maybe the Yankees are interested in him. Or maybe the Yankees are just, listen, we're going to play Austin Wells at first base. But do it now if you're going to do it. Do it now. Know who your catcher is. You didn't go out there and trade for a catcher. It's not going to be Higgy and Trevino next year. I'll tell you that for sure. It better not be. We love Trevi, but we need somebody else.
I think Trevi should be the backup catcher.
Yeah, Higgy, thank you for your time, bro. But
his defensive, Trevino, and we still have him for the Yankees still have him for another year, I think, of control. So the what he brings framing wise and his defense wise could be great for Ben Rice and for Austin Wells to help them out with their defense. So I think the right move is to keep Trevi as the backup guy, but you need to go again. But you're gonna go with a rookie catcher, but the Texas Rangers did, and it panned out for them. Yep. I just want to see the Yankees pull the trigger, man. Let's just do what we're gonna do. If push comes to shove, you can always make a splash in the trade, and you're the New York Yankees. You can always open up the checkbook. You gotta just be ready for it. You cannot waste
100%.
Cole and Judge's prime years, man. You can't, man. And I'll close it with this: how beautiful would it be to see Juan Soto, Jason Dominguez, and Aaron Judge in that outfield? Holy shit! I don't care if the defense isn't great with Juan Soto and Judge and Jason Dominguez, but I'm pretty sure we're scoring a lot of runs.
Yeah, 100% with that, Kev. And this is my biggest thing. I'll end it with this too. My biggest thing for next year is I want new faces. Whatever the Yankees are gonna do, a lot of these guys are gonna be free agents. They had a couple guys coming off the books. Be young. I know you can't get rid of Stanton. He's got a no trade clause. Hopefully, he starts heating up. He had 4 hits today. You know, maybe he's still got something left in there. I don't think he's gonna get to the end of his contract, but you know, give us maybe 2 more years of production, man. We got 4 more years of you. Give us 2 or 3 more years of production. Year 4, I'm just counting it as a wash. We're not gonna get much out of him. But give us 2 or 3 years. You can't get rid of DJ. It's gonna be Rizzo's last year because the Yankees aren't gonna do the team option the 3rd year. So besides that, it's gonna be Volpe. It's gonna be Peraza. It's gonna be Pereira. I just want the team to be young. I want Wells up there. I want to see Wells. I want to see these guys, what they're about.
Yeah.
Don't let them start at AAA. Don't do what you did to Peraza, because I feel like you kind of ruined Peraza. I'm afraid you did, but I don't know.
Or slowed his progress.
Yep, definitely. He was starting in the ALCS last year, and then he was playing all these games at AAA. Come on, what are we doing?
And he was hitting 300, and you sat him for a bunch of games too after that. I mean, and then wanted him to come on the ALCS and shit like that. It all fucks everything up. So I agree with you 100%. Play the kids. Let it pan out. See what you got next year, and bring some fresh, new, fast blood into the Yankees.
No. It's athletic.
Okay.
We have to get athletic. So let's get athletic next year.
Including myself, I will get athletic as well. I'll keep a promise.
Well, we know that ain't happening. Listen, thank you guys for watching. I know we ran a little bit long today, but we appreciate it. Listen, season's not over. I still want to see. I still like to watch Aaron Judge.
Oh no, fuck
I'm sure you guys do too. And I want to see what Pereira's got. I like his swing a lot. And Peraza, I need him to turn up too. I would like to see him. You
saw that play
get
at
some
base
confidence.
On a national. Oh my god, man, that guy could play defense, bro. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he's got a cannon too. But thank you guys so much for watching episode 41 of the Bronx and Nothing podcast. We'll be back for the race series after the race series. Thank you guys so much.
Ya tú sabes de lo mío personal. Muchas gracias a la gente de nosotros que no están hablando ahora, que están hablando ahorita. Let's go Yanks. You understand what I said?